Hello gorgeous peeps, I'm Chris from TechSpert and today we are checking out the Sonos Move 2. That's 2 in French. The Sonos Move 2 portable Bluetooth speaker replaces the first model and boasts a bugger load of upgrades, including stereo sound smarts, fresh touch controls and double the original Move speaker's battery life. And the Sonos Move 2 can be yours for 449 quids or 449 US dollar bills, and yes, that is quite a lot for a portable Bluetooth speaker. But is it actually worth it? Well, let's check it out, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, what do you actually get bundled in this here box? Well, you've got yourself, of course, a Move 2 speaker, all wrapped up in a neat little bundle. You've got yourself a charging dock and also a 3-pin adapter. And I love how those match your chosen speaker color. And last up, of course, you've got a quick start guide, just to help you get all set up with the Sonos Move 2. So yes, the Sonos Move 2 is a portable speaker, just a bloody massive one. It's certainly not designed for teeny tiny rooms like my studio here. This thing is certainly built for larger spaces, and then when you need to, you can carry it outside for a bit of a pool party. If you presumably live somewhere nice and warm. Or if you live here in the UK, it could be a drizzle party. The Move 2 may appear to be rather unwieldy, but thankfully that is not the case. You've got a handy grippy bit around back. This makes heaving it about the place rather easy, and it's not actually that heavy considering the size of the thing. Certainly schlepping it from one room to another is a minor workout at best. You could shove it in a backpack if you're feeling a bit brave, but really this thing is designed to be, chucked out in the garden occasionally, maybe taken on the odd camping trip. You've got a choice of 3 colours with the Sonos Move 2, black, white or this here olive model, which I personally love. Certainly fits in well with plants and other green decor. And apparently the Move 2 is constructed from sustainably sourced materials. You've got a hard plastic shell top and then a mesh body and a soft touch base. It's IP56 water resistant like the previous Sonos Move speaker, so it can get rather damp, no problem. It's also apparently drop resistant, not that I've had the guts to test that out. It can also deal with extreme temperatures. We're talking minus 10 degrees centigrade all the way up to 55. And frankly, if you can still party in that kind of heat, then chances are you're a scorpion. As you can see, nice clean design up front, just a small bit of Sonos brand in there. Above which is a tiny wee power LED that'll just let you know if you're switched on and connected. Up top you've got basic touch controls, pause, play, skip back and forwards, and a little groove for the volume control, which I absolutely adore. And up top you've also got those built-in far-field mics, which work an absolute charm for Sonos' own voice control and also for Amazon's, I won't say her name in case I make all your small home stuff go crazy, but you know what I mean. And then around the back of the Sonos Move 2 in that wee groove is where you'll find the power button, the Bluetooth connect button and also the mic mute button. There's bugger all aux in port unfortunately, but you can use a line-in adapter to plug an audio source into that Type-C port down below. Now as you'd expect from a Sonos speaker, you can connect it to Wi-Fi to stream music or radio stations or whatever you fancy directly from the internet using the Sonos app. And then once you've downloaded the Sonos app, the setup's fairly straightforward. A couple of the stages did fall on their arse, failed the first time. I had to repeat them a second time, but then they were absolutely fine. So it took a few minutes and then it was good to go. Now I'm not going to spend long at all banging on about the actual Sonos app. If you've used Sonos before, you'll know exactly what to expect here, of course. I'm not the biggest fan, certainly when it comes to streaming music over Wi-Fi, because the likes of the Deezer functionality is quite basic compared with the actual Deezer app. Hence I prefer connecting my smartphone to the Sonos Move 2 over Bluetooth and then streaming music directly through the Deezer app or Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever I'm using at the time. And it's also handy because then I can just bugger off into the garden or wherever I fancy and continue to stream music, podcasts, etc. without having to rely on Wi-Fi. But in terms of the actual connectivity, I had no trouble streaming over Wi-Fi or with Bluetooth. And if you've got a pair of these bad boys connected to your Wi-Fi network, you can stream to them simultaneously. And of course, as you would expect, the Move 2 can sync up with the rest of your Sonos setup over your Wi-Fi network. Now, one of the advantages of the Sonos Move 2 not being particularly compact is the fact that it spaffs out some really beefy and super loud sound. Sonos has packed in dual tweeters for a spacious stereo style effect, and you will appreciate that extra clarity when you use this thing indoors. And yeah, you do lose that immersive effect when you shift outdoors, but as far as portable speakers go, the soundstage that this thing produces is still bloody impressive. And Sonos has added in its Trueplay feature, so that audio is dynamically adjusted by the speaker based on the environment that it's placed in using the built-in mics. And certainly you can notice subtle adjustments when you're moving the Sonos Move 2 about the place, although it only really makes a clear difference when you're moving from, say, a small confined space like this studio into a more open plan area, or if you shifted from indoors to outdoors, vice versa. Now the sound quality is pretty bloody good when you're streaming over Bluetooth, but it is a wee bit baffling that Sonos hasn't added aptX HD or LDAC support. So you'll only really be able to take full advantage of the Sonos Move 2's impressive audio chops if you're streaming music over Wi-Fi using the Sonos app, or of course if you're using a good old line-in adapter. But bass fans should certainly be happy with the Sonos Move 2's output. This wee thing can make my entire studio vibrate on top volume when it's pumping out a bit of hip-hop or ravey-davey gravy tunes. But thankfully those lows don't completely drown out the rest of the sound. You've got strong clarity across the entire range. Now with the Sonos Move 2, you'll enjoy up to 24 hours of battery life from a full charge. That's double the original speaker. And I've certainly found I can get very close to that advertised 24 hours of life with a mixture of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi streaming. However, the standby drain isn't great on the Sonos Move 2. I have found it does tick down around 1% an hour if you just leave it turned on and idle. So you'll definitely want to switch on the idle auto disconnect and the battery saver features to turn off the speaker automatically when it's not in use. If you find that you simply forget to turn it off or you just can't be asked to push that power button. And you can also use the Sonos Move's built-in battery to charge your phone, your smartwatch or whatever on the go. Just plug it into that USB-C port and get some tasty reverse charge action on the go. Very handy if you are camping or out in the wilderness somewhere. And then when the Sonos Move 2 needs a recharge, well, just bung it on that bundle dock. And as you can see, you've got a separate orange LED down here, which just shows you that it is charging up. Recharging does take bloody ages though, so you will want to make sure you slap the Sonos Move 2 on that dock many hours before you need to take it out somewhere. So there you have it, my lovelies. That is my full final frank review on the Sonos Move 2. And I gotta say that if you're already invested in that Sonos setup, well, it's a slick and portable addition to your collection of speakers. It's beefier than a branch of Five Guys and it works wonderfully. But if you're not already heavily invested in Sonos and you don't have fat stacks in your wallet, well, you might want to look elsewhere because you won't be able to take full advantage of those features. And frankly, there are far more affordable options available. So that's what I reckon. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.